So these voices that I hear can be controlled. Um, when I'm on absolutely nothing, I don't usually don't hear them. If so, there's some if there's something in my system that again, I want to just call it all plant medicine. I just don't want to get into like what exactly it is and what it isn't and what it does and what it doesn't and what it's supposed to be and then what it is not because of the illegality of it and the being forced to find it in certain ways and places that not knowing and all these things that happen when you take a chance, whatever. um, in any this would be called multiple personality disorder, I think, and then also a form of schizophrenia, to the psychiatric community. But I don't think it's that. I think it's more than that, and they just label that and just give you a pill to make it go away. And most of the times it doesn't. You have to give you multiple things to make it go away, and then when it goes away, you're ready to live your life as what they intend you to be. You're able to sleep 8 hours, work 8 hours, or sleep 8 hours, or work 12 hours and sleep 6 hours, or like work 10 hours, and so whatever. And then you have the 8 hours for free to do all you need to. And the weekends, so you got the weekends sometimes. So there is a way to control them coming in, right? I have the spirit guides, and they are specific, and they just lay back and just kind of like answer questions if I need. They don't push me in any direction. Once in a while, they'll suggest something, or if I do something that then they consider the right thing to do, and they always tell me, your first choice, the first one that you make, the first choice that you make. Oh, it's over here. First choice that you make is usually the best choice. And anything that veers you off that first choice and starts giving you doubt over that first choice, is something outside of you that's pulling you. Or it could be a fear that's coming up. But right now, it's for me, it's just these things are coming in. And so there's ways to control it. You can control it by meditation, of course. You control it by focusing and on something, on a mantra, or just kind of like when it comes in, just blocking it out. Once you start feeding into it, you hear something and it's, oh shit, that sounds right. Maybe I should do this and this and this and this. Hey, how about can you help me do this? And then that's when they kind of got you, and they'll pull you into any direction they feel like pulling you into, unless you're ready. You're ready to at any point say, oh wait, that's not where I wanted to go. And yes, it's kind of an internal dialogue combined with something outside that's pulling me somewhere, combined with something that's a doubt that I have over my first choice over something, or maybe even to make that choice. It gets to a point where you're actually like, you can't even make that choice anymore because you're waiting for these things outside of you to come in and tell you what that choice is, and that's the ultimate outcome, and like I think what their intentions are, whatever these things are. If there's some kind of like device that human beings can call to, but very because human beings will manipulate other human beings, and slavery was a form of that, and this is like kind of, if this is actually going on, there is a device that allows this to happen, then of course this is a way to enslave what they consider addicts or people that are doing something that is illegal. So it's hard to get, but it's still not it's still the desire to actually do it is there, and it's there, and whatever you want to call that, you know whatever you want to call that. People that are judging that are just, oh well, you're the addict, or people that understand it's like, oh yeah, you just want to explore. Psychonauts is a word used for people that seem to want to go outside of the box, and there's really no other way to do it. You can do it through meditation, you can do it through yoga, you could do it through years and years and years and years of practice of some discipline. And I would imagine that's much more fulfilling, when it comes to the long-term effects. But it also becomes something that that's cutting you off something that's cutting you off from really what these plants were made for and put here for. You know, in the scientific community, some of these plants are considered poison. But in reality, what they are is a way to connect to something that we can't connect to normally. You know, and in a society where that's judged and that's looked down upon, what you have is a system that doesn't really care much about the people that are doing it, and then judges them, and that judgment is then felt very strongly by the person, you know, or not. Just don't give a shit. Fuck it. I don't care what they say. You know, and that becomes, you know. But there are some things that open you up to that level of almost telekinetic kind of like ability to hear things that people are thinking. And you know, oh yeah, it's crazy. You think you can actually hear something that somebody's thinking. It's not that hard if you think about it. If you look at somebody and you know they don't like you, and they feel a certain way about you, you can tell by the energy they let out whether they like you or they don't. You know, it's the same thing when you're just focusing on what they're thinking, coming from their place, and then you know, kind of just listening. You know. That's what I'm sure my sound healing practice and you know the plant medicine that I used to do a lot of, then I stopped doing for a very long time because I'm in a relationship that I couldn't do it, and I couldn't tell the person I did it, and then when I started doing it, the person got very mad at me and then threw me out of the house that I part owned. So that in itself creates doubt and fear. You know. And these things now again, I want to say I'm not sure if they're actually human beings with you know, that you know maybe are part of this some kind of like syndicate where they're selling something that you're taking into your system, and that thing you're taking into your system has these bots or whatever, these little things, tiny bots that are doing something, that are communicating and going into your bloodstream and going into some parts of your body that's then allowing them to communicate, or it's maybe my cell phone. You know, I have my cell phone by my pocket, and that somehow transmits something to some portion of my head and my brain that they have figured out. Science fiction, yeah, but it is something that I believe is happening to me right now. And you know, I'm not going to go and you know, I'm going to put a freaking aluminum foil cap on my head or any of that shit. You know, it doesn't. You know, there's ways to control it coming in. Once, and that I've learned very through trial and error. You know, I've learned what to do and how to do it. It's just, it is annoying when it gets to the point. It is annoying when I want to get to a certain point and feel a certain thing, and they're somehow trying to break me down. Because my guides, when I've done this and the guides just go ahead and help me. Then I have this other voice that is somewhat here or there. I'm not sure if it's human. I'm not sure if it confuses me sometimes, but it gives me good information a lot of times. And then you have the ones that just, you know, break you down. And those are the ones I believe are could be, again, human beings with phones, or they could be some parasitic entities from different dimensions that are feeding off of the misery and the thing that it brings you down to. Like, I've been through a lot of freaking downs, and I try to get myself up and down. This year has been a roller coaster ride like no other. I mean, this year has been my lifetime. I've had a roller coaster ride of this year that seems like it was a roller coaster ride for my lifetime, and I've had a roller coaster ride in my lifetime. So it adds to that, and it's been very, very difficult to deal with. And no, I don't want to take medication to deal with it. Not prescribed medication. And no, I don't want to go see a therapist because they won't understand. They won't understand, and I have to explain my entire life to them for them to tell me exactly what I know. Okay, yeah, my childhood was fucked up. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened a lot of times. I don't remember before a certain point. I don't really connect with my family. I don't believe that sometimes they're telling me the truth about what and who I am and where I was born and who is and if we're really blood. And every time I bring up let's take they let me feel bad. Oh, you want to take a DNA test for me? Okay, let's go. We'll go together, and I'll pay for it too. Say, okay, okay, I can't, you want to just go do it and let me, no, you get the paperwork and then I'll do it. And then we'll do it, I'll pay for it. So it becomes that. And then you get, the feelings come in. But if they don't feel that because I'm nothing like them, if they're not feeling the same thing about me, okay, I don't know what to believe or not, because they are nothing. My family's nothing like me. I never really felt connected to any of them. And the times that I did, I had to really, really work hard and try my best to connect, to feel Italian, and to feel that part of me that really didn't exist. When I used to go to Italy, they used to call me the American kid. And they used to call me l'Americano. And they used to call me that, not saying that I was born in Italy and moved. They were saying that like I was the American kid, because I came and I looked at acting. I mean, yeah, I was raised in America because I was 5 years old. But it's more than that. I just felt the sense of like something that they knew in this town that they weren't telling me. And I always felt that, but I always pushed it aside, pushed it down. So that in itself, okay, issues and problems. Oh yeah, I can go to a psychotherapist. Oh, maybe you're hearing these voices because you have. Let's focus on this reality and let's see if we can build this one and forget about that one. Forget about all these things that you think are really happening to you. And even though you've had a year of shit that's brought up a lot of these things, let's all forget about that and let's focus on creating a better future from now on. And yeah, in theory, it's great. And I used to teach people that in my sound healing classes, to focus on, what happened to you. The thing of it is, you get to a point where your family is somewhat lying to you, because their reaction to what I ask of them when I ask about this subject is very sketchy. It's very like you're hiding something, right? So that in itself, makes me doubt that. And that has nothing to do with what is happening to me now. And it's nothing to do with the fact that I do hear these things. And I hear them under certain circumstances, yes. And I want to know why. I mean, is it a product of the thing that I'm doing? That's never really happened to me before 15 years ago. So something changed me, because I used to do young, and that never happened. And in my 20s, and that never happened. And then all of a sudden, I did it at one point in Florida, and then it just started happening. And it happened like very quickly and very like, and then it was like, oh wow, I'm really hearing people like talking to me about things that I'm thinking about right now. So they can actually feel what's in my head almost. And if I say it, they can hear it. But if I don't say it, if I just think it, they don't hear it. But my guide does. And my guide comes back and says, yeah, you're talking to me this time, don't worry. What are they? Well, yeah, they could be these. They've told me what they could be. But the guide is not going to tell me what it is, because it is up to me to choose that probability and then make it the reality that it is. So, whatever I feel strongly as the probability, because I don't know. I have documents from Italy. They're all dated the same day that they got from me in 1980. It was 1983. I think it was when I just became a citizen. I think I said this in the last one. But it's just very strange that things, and I know pictures of me before the age of 5. They have a couple of pictures of a kid that maybe looks like me, but I don't see the resemblance. And that's it. I'm like, oh, mommy never had time to take pictures of you. She was running around, and she had a camera for everybody else. She had a camera for my 12-year-old, 12 brother that's 10 years older, and my sister that's 12-year-old, plenty of pictures of them as babies, and none of me. Okay. All right, so all these things, and they make what I believe. And the guides are there to really focus me on this. If this is it, then go for it. It's up to you to understand that what it is, and then you have the other ones that are. So when I hear that, I hear them, I have to then just go, no, and guide, no, and it's them. So, okay, ignore them. Okay, and then I ignore, and then they're not there, and then I control that aspect of myself in that state, and then that comes back as something stronger in the normal state. And no, I'm not saying this is what anybody should do, or anyone should practice or do on their own, or I'm doing it because I don't know, because I need to do it, I need you know, it's right now I'm going through something that it is helping me to fight off things. Maybe the judgment that I feel from other people, if I hear them and then I'm able to block them off, maybe the judgment that I feel from other people at times, I can block off better. You know, it could be a training for me for somehow that I'm creating for myself with letting these voices in when I shouldn't be, just to be able to understand and hear their side of it and what they're meaning and why they're doing this to me. And I guess most of the times this ends up becoming the next day going like, oh wow, I understand a little bit more. Yeah. So that's how I'm able to control them and deal with them without medication. I don't want to go and take medication. I know I'm sure you're self-medicate. No, I'm taking plant medicine and whatever things that I deem, you know, something that I want to try in this lifetime. I consider myself I was a good psychonaut, and then I got into a relationship, but I couldn't be, and then I tried to be undercover, and then that didn't work out, and then that just blew up on me. That's my last relationship. I mean, I'm sorry I did that to her. I'm sorry I did that to anybody that I hurt in any way, but you know, it's something that I seems like I needed to do, and I am still trying to do, and now I'm trying to decide on what to do with where I'm going, and if I'm going, and I go back and forth between, no, I'm going to stay, and then, you know, I don't know if I really want to stay. You know, I don't know if I really want to, I trust anybody anymore here, or I'll trust anybody anywhere else. I might end up in fucking Alaska like that guy that ended up, you know, taking that trip to Alaska and dying there. I don't know, you know, but you know, but the thing of it is the lack of something that I'm feeling right now. Oh, it's all because of what, maybe you're just doing a little bit too much. You should not, you know, you should just, you know, they recommend doing it for a while, and then, okay, that's what they recommend. That's what you want to say. This is what I'm doing, and this is where I'm going. And I'm not sure when I'm going to do it, and when I'm not going to do it, and when I'm going to stop, and when I'm going to say it's enough, and when it's going to be that time that I've done it. But there's too many unknowns about what's happened to me in the last year for me really not to look at it and see it and try to conquer it and try to take those demons and take those things that are causing me guilt. I grew up Catholic, you know. That is the guiltiest fucking religion out there. You're carrying around Christ's cross. Christ's cross. Christ's cross, yeah, Jesus' cross. You're carrying around that cross. And you really don't know why. But they tell you have to.